Well, let's talk a little bit about the Irish Tiger. You've seen it firsthand. How do you explain its great success, and then what will its challenges be for the future?
I think the Celtic Tiger is having a little whimper at the moment, I'm afraid. There's been tremendous success in Ireland over the last 20 years. I mean, Ireland, the population of Ireland decreased virtually every year from the mid-1800s, which was the time of the famine, until the late 1960s. And that led to a lot of stagnation on the economic front, emigration, difficult economic times. And yet there was a bright, smart people that were eager to succeed. And of course, we've had a huge amount of catch up over the last 20 years, where we had well-educated young population, and that was one of the key ingredients for Ireland, was the liberalisation or opening up of education to people that couldn't afford it, if you like, but free third-level education, and an appetite among parents that their kids get well-educated. Also, the investment patterns changed, where instead of people having to emigrate to go to the heavy industries, like the steel industries of whether it was in Pennsylvania or in UK, we were now looking at more modern information-based industries, whether it was in IT or in the health services or whatever, where the industry could come to you rather than you having to go to the industry. And Ireland was poised at the right place for that. And of course, we were members of the EU, which gave us access to the entire EU market. And we were, I suppose, English speaking within reason, and a natural, friendly place for US people to come. So we became a great place for inward investment from the US, not for sentimental reasons, but for good, practical, common sense reasons. And yes, a bit of sentiment didn't do any harm. But for good practical reasons, those businesses have been hugely successful. And that kick-started, I think, a lot of the success that became the Celtic Tiger. There was a natural catch-up in the internal economy that's been done. And of course, the population has got back on a growth path and has gone up by about 60% over the last 25 years. So that's also been a great help. What we're seeing now, of course, small open economy, that with the huge negative winds coming from the US and now Western Europe in terms of the financial problems, that's spreading a chill wind across Ireland as well. And the country itself, perhaps overexposed on internal property stuff, not necessarily subprime like here, but perhaps some of the lending to major property projects at the peak of the market, causing now some issues and concerns, and of course, with the international economy slowing down, blows a chill wind across an open trading economy. A lot of, I suppose, retrenchment being done, tough choices having to be made. Public purse, which is still quite strong in terms of the balance sheet of the country. The national debt has come down relative to GDP. It's significantly lower in Ireland than in the US, for example. But on a day-to-day current basis, spending on the current side had got quite high on the government side. So there's painful choices to be made in trying to rein that back in somewhat, and yet maintaining a good level of services or whatever to the population. So a country that's been used to rapid growth, the pains of readjusting are tough. But you know, that's much better than the problems we had 30 years ago when we were trying to readjust from having had nothing and we were trying to get onto the ladder. It's a strong economy, it's a vibrant place, great young people, and I think it'll still be a good place to do business, although there'll be a few tough years, of course.